Flat ground is an excellent place to learn how to lift this motorcycle, but you're going to want to learn how to troubleshoot in places where the terrain got more challenging. Problem solving is actually kind of one of my favorite parts of adventure riding. I enjoy riding challenging stuff, but I really enjoy figuring out how the heck to get out of it. It doesn't matter where you've fallen, whether it's on a hill or it's in rocks or flat ground. You still have to do a checklist. Check in with yourself very first and then go through the rest. A few things you're going to want to consider is, do I even want to keep going the way I was traveling? And the terrain. Am I even going to be able to lift the bike from here? Before you jump to lifting this motorcycle, set up a path for success. You're going to want to look to see if there's anything that you can move so that you have better traction and you don't get tossed out of control by, say, some of these loose rocks. Get rid of the ones that are in front of the rear tire. You're also going to want to do the same here for the path of travel. Get rid of these guys. They're just going to set you up to fall again. Just toss them out of the way. Going up from here is going to be really challenging. So I have decided to spin this thing around and go back down the hill. Another part of this problem solving is optimizing your leverage. I want to make sure that the wheels are either on the same plane as where my feet are going to be, or the wheels are actually lower than where my feet are going to be. That optimizes my leverage and makes it easier to lift the motorcycle. If it goes the other direction and my feet are lower than where the wheels are, I run out of my body's leverage, and sometimes you just can't pick up the bike. As I'd mentioned before about where the wheels are going to be, where my feet are going to be, that's another reason I'm actually going to spin this motorcycle around. Now, I'm not going to spin it all the way down the hill. I'm actually going to spin it so that it's perpendicular with the hill, which puts the wheels on the downhill side and puts my feet on the uphill side. You can spin the bike pretty much however you want. However, spinning it from the rear of the bike and going uphill, because you don't want the tires to dig in, so you want to drag them instead. I'm going to start spinning this thing around using some small adjustments. Now, already I'm banged up against something, so I've got to problem solve this too. As I come around to look to see what's hanging this motorcycle up, be really mindful to not go to the downhill side of the bike. In case you move something and that bike starts to let loose, you don't want anything to do with it. Always stay on the high side of the hill. It looks like what's hanging me up are a couple of these rocks. So I'm just going to go ahead and move them. I'm hoping that's all it's going to be and that I can get to twisting this bike again. I've moved some of those rocks, so hopefully this thing will start to twist again. There we go. Be prepared for this thing to move. As you shift it, the tires are going to come to different places. You need to anticipate what the terrain is going to do. Now you can see here that I'm not quite perpendicular yet, so I need to give it a couple more little twists to really get it more perpendicular. Now, I happen to have the kickstand available to me, but look at how steep this is going to be. If I just let this bike go over on that kickstand, it would have such an aggressive lean on it that then it would be really hard to lift from there. Also, there's a good chance that it could actually topple over that kickstand. Sometimes it'll dig it into the ground. This might not be the place to use your kickstand. Up to this point, I've shown you everything without any of my gear on, but now I'm going to get on this motorcycle and ride it away. I gotta protect myself. Just check in with yourself one more time and make sure that where you're going to lift it, you're prepared for this. And look at how much taller my feet are further up this hill than where those tires are touching. That's going to help tremendously with my leverage, especially for my height. Check where your feet are going to go. I'm kicking a couple of rocks around so that I don't go stepping or slipping on any of those. And I'm not going to lift this bike all the way up and over on that kickstand again because that would lean way too much. So I'm letting it lean into me. Oh, and I've got that tire there. Woo! Again, see, prepare yourself for any shift in that terrain. I'm going to let the bike lean into me, and I'm actually going to just mount it from here. Now, if I didn't like where I was going to exit, what I can do is lean into the hill, grab some of that front brake, and do what's called scissor. You're going to start letting that bike kind of move down the hill. Again, if this is something you know you're going to do, you can move some of these rocks out of the way. It's about as far as I'm going to get. Gives me a little bit better of an angle. I'm going to start up my engine and ride off this hill. Thank you all for being here and allowing me to teach you, hopefully, something you didn't know before. Go out and problem solve for yourself. Put yourself in a little bit more challenging situations. Take a buddy with you, of course. That way they can help you and you can help them.